for Older Men Live. I am 𝗕cie𝗱𝗆. I'm so glad you're joining me here for our continual connection. Just you and me, two men, a little bit older, going through this journey of life together. I want to help you simplify the fitness process, the workouts, the eating, the systems, the strategies, the mindset, the motivation, all of it. I want to help you be more effective and efficient with your willpower, focus, energy, and time, because I know you have a busy, productive life. That's what makes me unique. I did this for so many years, just extreme like the younger passionate fitness experts who are telling you how to do it their way, what they emphasize, the little details. Maybe sometimes they skip over the basic organizing principles, the fundamentals. Out of the 100 things that you're told what to do, there's only 20 that matter, that 80-20 rule, the 20 that make up 80% of your results. They skip by that. That's boring, right? They're going to that next level. And that's great if you got a couple hours a day, 7 days a week, because you love the gym so much. Not that you don't love it. You want to be on all these very, very strict diets, all right, because you want it so badly. You can't live that life, so you don't have to live that lifestyle. There is a way to do that is more in line for our values now that we're a little bit older, our time constraints, our priorities, and that's what I want to share with you by answering your questions here for Workouts for Older Men Live. When you come on, say hello, hello, hello. That's our Workouts for Older Men Live greeting. Again, make sure that you're alerted every time I go live. If you're on YouTube and watching me live, at 𝗕cie𝗱𝗆, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're alerted when I do go live, which I'm doing twice a day. I'll talk more about that. If you're on Facebook, at 𝗕cie𝗱𝗆 page, make sure that you are alerted every time I go live and you're subscribed. You're liking my Facebook page. Also, if you are on Instagram, 𝗕cie𝗱𝗆, Twitter, 𝗕cie𝗱𝗆, LinkedIn, my 𝗕cie𝗱𝗆, or even TikTok, 𝗕cie𝗱𝗆, make sure that you come join me live at this time, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Almost every single day I'm here to connect with you. So if you have any questions, this is the time to ask them. All right. This is the time to ask your questions. I won't even answer the silly ones. All right. We kind of keep this is for guys who, they're the type of men who don't just hang around the internet, right? Don't really, my clients, the guys who get the most out of this, they watch everything they tell me to watch. They send me emails, they send me texts, they ask me questions that way. Don't spend a lot of time on the internet talking, so when, somebody has the questions like, I can tell their level of interest. And this isn't for you. That may be funny. Maybe you can kind of do that on the other social media platforms, and the fitness experts, they open themselves up to that. I just kind of focus on the men who I can help most, and I know how they ask questions or don't ask questions. They're the type of men who do whatever it takes to get what they want. So if that sounds like you, then you found your home. Randy, hello, hello, hello. So Randy's not impressed with the Arnold this year. Pete, hello, hello, hello. I'm back from the Arnold Classic. Fired up and ready to hit the gym. Well, good for you. Hello, 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 Randy, over on Facebook. All right, guys. So do you have any questions for me? Any questions? All right. Hey, are you watching my morning wake-up show? A lot of guys are loving that. It's great tie-in to wake your body up. It's not an overload exercise. It's not even meant to be an all-encompassing fitness exercise program. Just wake your body up, get your game face on for the day. I call it the game face. 5-minute morning workout for older men. I do that live at 3:30 a.m. Pacific time, 6:30 a.m. Eastern time. All right. Again, I got a message for you. This one's more about our lifestyle, men from our perspective, a little bit older. So check that out. You can watch in the replay version too, over on all my social media platforms. You can see you can see it and join me. Hello, 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 Evan. When is the best time to do cardio? and preserve muscle? Really good question there. So let me just tell you. So to be the best, to be a 6-time national champion drug-free bodybuilder. I mean, I didn't just do the basics and then go on to live a balanced life. Once I got the basics taken care of, the things that really matter, I hit them harder and harder. It took them higher and higher levels. One national championship wasn't enough. Could have started there. Probably could have stopped, trying to grow and trying to learn new strategies. After a year, I looked better than most with genetics in a year of training. But I kept on driving myself, even again after a championship. I want to get better and better and better. And that's why I tried new things, even though I was good. Sometimes it took me backwards. Sometimes there was a lot more work that really didn't produce results. And after 15 straight years of competing, and now 18 years removed from competing, and now just living a healthy, fit life. If you're new, I'll be 60 years old here in a few months. All right. I learned what was important and what wasn't important. And so there's a lot of type of things that, as you go deeper down the rabbit hole, you got the really passionate fitness experts. Again, the basics that for older men with busy lives, that's more than enough. They go deeper and deeper and deeper, and then they talk about science. I'll tell you one thing from this pandemic that if you didn't already know, and if you've been in this fitness industry, the experts, the guys with the degrees, they don't even agree. And they're battling back and forth and always questioning each other's credibility. But with this pandemic, with life and death on the line, the science and, the same scientists, they seem credible. They're always, disagreeing with each other. That science isn't as black and white as you may think. It certainly isn't that way, in the fitness industry either, any of that type of science. So a lot of times, when you find a study, hey, this cardio is better after your workout or before your workout, or separate your weight training from, 10 hours from your weight training session. All those things I tried, all those things I did, I ended up looking great, but regardless, whichever one I did, because that doesn't make as much of the impact as you might think, even though the science, let's say that's optimal. But doing it suboptimally, doing your cardio before, if the science says to do it after, doing your cardio right before or after your weight training session, instead of separating it 10 hours afterwards, low intensity cardio for a long period of time or higher intensity, all these things that supposedly preserve hard-earned muscle mass, it's really not making an impact. If you're over 40, you got a busy, productive life, that's the strategies. I'm not, a bodybuilder who gets all anal about little details that don't matter but make you feel good and get fights on the internet. If it doesn't matter, I'm not going to talk about it. And if you're getting tripped up, you're not doing your cardio, you're older, and you need to do cardio for your health, for your heart. Okay, but you're thinking, oh, I'm losing all my muscle mass. Well, I'll tell you this. It isn't making that much of an impact. If your body can withstand all this weight training, it can survive, without melting your fat away with cardio. It's just interesting. A lot of guys want to train hard in the gym. They say, hey, there's no such thing as overtraining. You just got to train hard and eat right. Your body can withstand that. But when it comes to doing a little bit of cardio for health, right? Oh, it just melts away all the fat. The muscle. It melts away all the muscle. Right. So I got to avoid it. There's no consistency in that thinking. All right. So, before, after, 10 hours after, it's not making that much of an impact. I would ask you what your goal is. What your goal is now, I get from your question, is not lose your hard-earned muscle mass. But I tell you, more men than they want to admit that I know, you're not, when you try to lose all that body fat, you're, at best you're 22%, and you want to get leaner. I just got off the phone with a gentleman. He feels as though he lost all his muscle mass. We're not carrying as much muscle mass as we think. When you are dieting down, I know you're losing volume. You're volumized muscle with the fat. I know you want to lose the fat. You're losing size. Like I tell guys, I've been doing this for 32 years. All right. And when I was a drug-free bodybuilder, oh, there's no way he's drug-free, right? I look this way at 60, right? I am 5'11", 215 pounds. Okay. So I talk to guys, they're 5'11", 250 pounds. And they've been, kind of doing it. They've been taking care of their family and the business, but, maybe they've been in the gym. They know they have too much body fat. They think their ripped weight to look like me is 220 pounds. More than me, less time training, less intensity, probably less genetics, but they think that they should weigh 220. So here they are at, 240, 250. They start getting to 230. They think they lost all their signs, and they start extrapolating. Well, if I lose more size, if I continue this diet, I'm going to lose even more muscle. Didn't lose as much muscle as you think. Now, it's going to be hard for me to convince you, especially just watching a video. Well, what does he know? He hasn't even seen a picture of me. He hasn't asked me questions. And that's true. But I'll tell you, if you think you're really a lot different than a lot of other men, then good for you. But most men greatly overestimate how much muscle they have. And when they want to get lean, they want to get healthy, they're paranoid about losing muscle. And they're really not. It's just a lot of size that's marbled. The muscle is marbled with a lot of fat. All right. But I don't know your situation, in particular, right? But if you're like most men, that's what happens. Hello, Charlie. Great to have you here. Let's see here. Andy, now that we're older, how many grams of protein per pound do we need? I'm going to add to gaining mass. Let me ask you a question. Do you know how many grams of protein that you're eating right now? So a lot of guys, they ask that question. They have no idea. They have no idea how many calories they eat. They don't have how many grams. It's like, so if it was 0.08 to 1.5, are you keeping track of it? Or is that just a question? Because either one will work. All right. One is supposedly optimal, right? Overload, consistent, be lean enough to see your muscle, right? But I would just say, generally, from everything you heard, you can get by with probably less protein than you think. Wouldn't go, And as far as gaining muscle mass, that's greatly over-exaggerated. How much muscle mass you're actually gaining, so that kind of goes in the same thing. But if you think you're losing muscle mass, or you think you're gaining muscle mass, or you're not gaining it enough, and you don't really know how it works, all the numbers, all the strategies, don't know the journey. Like I say, for most men, older men, the journey to get to look good, to get lean. All right, if you just kind of watch what you eat and you're somewhat active, you can get down to about 22% body fat. But after that, and that's where all the magic happens, lower than 20% body fat. That's where all the magic happens. That's where the illusion is created. That's when you see the separation of the biceps, triceps, iliacus. You've got the ridges on your forearms because you're so lean. The man boobs go away and your chest seems to lift up, right? Your shoulders around, maybe some striations. Stomach is certainly flat, if not showing some abs or all the abs. Your face is lean and chiseled. It all happens well under 20% body fat. Most men will ask me about how much protein per pound or what's the way to preserve muscle. They're not even close, to knowing how or getting under 22%. This kind of worked, right? So I hope that's helpful. Evan says, training in the morning, why is it so hard? I struggle with it. Well, if you train in the morning, you have, that energy in the morning, and a lot of guys, they don't understand. I go to, I may wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, but I go to bed at 8 o'clock, right? I get a lot of work done between 3 a.m. and 8 a.m., a lot of things done, right? And that's just for my schedule, working around the world. So that works out well for me. But if you want to, I know guys, they want to get up in the morning and work out, and they stay up until like 11 o'clock, at night. And then it's hard to wake up and work out in the morning. All right. So that is, it's all how you do it, and you got to have a real strong reason why. And here's the thing too: if you have important meetings, right? I can choose the right job at the right time with my energy level. I can tailor it. If you can and you've got important meetings at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, right? Important ones, right? Getting up a couple hours early to work out, you're going to pay that price and maybe how sharp you are at 3 o'clock. So we're all making those decisions and all those choices. And, so hopefully that's helpful. JT9000 says, "What's up, Skip? Can I lift on a calorie deficit or should I only do cardio?" Yes, of course you can lift on a calorie deficit. Yes. Let's see here. Good stuff. Good. I'm glad, Laron. Good. I'm glad you're, getting some value. Let's see here. You want to lift weights, do cardio, and eat right when you're losing the body fat. All right, guys. Hey, some good questions here. Got a lot of bodybuilders here from YouTube. A lot of guys who spend a lot of time on YouTube listening to the younger guys. I can tell by the questions. A lot of bodybuilders, black and white, thinking, that's great. But if you're not under 20% body fat, all the magic of how much muscle you're building, how much muscle you're preserving, how the impact of your workouts, really, I don't care how long you've been training, how much if you're not under 20% body fat, well under, you have no idea what's really happening. If you really want that kind of extreme muscular physique, you'd be surprised the guys on YouTube you admire most, how lean they are, and they're probably not even close to the size you think they are. But that's the illusion that being lean gives you. And if you're stuck at, I got to weigh this amount, or you're worried about cardio melting off your muscle, it's going to be a hard time. I always say you can get to that top 20% by just showing up at the gym consistently, watching what you eat, making reasonably good choices instinctively. It's easy to get in the top 20% amongst older men because most of them don't do anything. So if you're consistent, but I'll tell you, after that point, to really have an impressive physique, that's not going to work. So more of the same, it's not going to get you to that amazing physique. It's not, just more of the same. And you probably know that. You probably have stuck at about the same look, after you got your gains pretty much forever. A lot of guys give up and just think it's because they're old. It's just some things they never learned that got them that way. Let's see here. Gene says, first time here. Enjoy what I'm hearing. Awesome. Gene, a lot of people on social media, they if something's a month old or 3 months old, they'll think, oh, well, I want the most current thing. But one thing, if you notice my style, Gene, or anyone who's watching, I try to stick with the timeless things that work. All right. Training, nutrition. So they're what the saying is like evergreen, meaning would work if it's a year old, it works today. Now everybody wants to see something fresh. That's why I come to you live. But if you want to take the time, just scroll down my Facebook page. Just click the link to the videos. And there is so much information. Yeah, it's probably not the most convenient way to learn because there's a lot of hellos and hello Evan and a hello Laron. But if you can listen to like podcasts in the background, you can probably get a lot out of it. I know you could. It's maybe not the most efficient way. If you click the links below, and I usually wait. I want some guys to watch all my videos, to get a chance to get to know me, for a few months. Certainly watch my videos so they know who I am, what I'm all about before they come to me for coaching, right? So I'm not having to say, well, don't you know who I am? Or don't you know what I know? It's like, I got to do the whole, establish myself as a credible source, like all over to them on the phone, right? Where if they could watch the videos for a couple months, they can really get a sense of when it's time that they want coaching. It's just, is there a program for them? Not, am I the guy, right? With all these videos that they can make that decision themselves. I have all the different ways listed that can help you reach your goals. All the different coaching programs, take a look at them so we can talk about them beforehand. I just talked with a gentleman right before I came on, and he didn't get coaching, but I did what I could. It's tough for me sometimes because I really believe you have to have some skin in the game. And if you really think about what you do, you're an expert at what you do, your business, you're successful there. And a lot of people come to you for answers, but are they really listening, or is it just good information? Right? Because a lot of times you need coaching, guidance. You need to be committed. You need to go along on the journey, have some accountability if you're going to really make the change. But I do all these videos, giving all this great information. Hopefully it's helpful. But if you find yourself struggling, you just can't get to the next level, you should reach out for one-on-one coaching. Let's see here. So Charlie says, 5'10", started at 208, got down to 165, and now at 175, but my waist is getting smaller. Do you like the look? And did you think you would get down and weight so much when you started at 208, at 5'10"? I'm curious, you like the look at 175? Let me know, Charlie. Good stuff, says Laron. Let's see. I'm in a all-natural bodybuilder at the age of 47, still competing and winning. I really love the nutrition part of bodybuilding. Awesome. Yeah, so you're looking for the details. Many times those details, they're very, very interesting. Good. I'm glad you like the way you look, Charlie. A lot of guys, I'm small. I think it's this male thing where you work out, you want to be big, even if it doesn't look good. That's why it's sometimes hard to lose that body fat, because you want to stay big. Yeah, so, as a competitive bodybuilder, I mean, even if something that added an extra hour a day, or a lot of grief, a lot of angst, a lot of energy, if most competitive bodybuilders, if they believe it can give them a 2% edge, they'll do it. They'll tack on more things. They'll talk on more time. They'll add more suffering because they want to win the bodybuilding contest. And I know what that's like, right? But, that's not, I don't lead you down those rabbit holes. I do just the opposite, making you think that that's worth your time and effort. Because again, could I coach natural bodybuilders? Sure, I could coach anybody with my experience and all the things, but I just don't. So a natural bodybuilder mentality, assisted bodybuilder mentality, whatever. I was that extreme. I could deal with those extremes, but my information isn't for a competitive bodybuilder, right? And not like, it's just because you do a lot of excess. That's part of the mentality, who would do that for a contest, starve themselves for months for a trophy. And I'm not criticizing that, because I did that for years. Gave up a lot of quality of life. The men who my information is for, they just want to be fit. They want to get under that 20%. They want to do it the most effective and efficient way. They want to be able to eat regular food, not all the time, right? But they don't want to be walking around with containers of food, stopping eating 6 times a day, drinking a gallon of water, carrying a gallon of water. A bodybuilder, I don't care if they're drug-free, steroid, who cares? They'll gladly do all that, right? I do just the opposite. I leave that stuff that doesn't matter out. Hello, Bruce. All right. So if we need to get close to 10% body fat, we should do at least 4 cardio sessions a week. It's your diet. It's understanding your diet and nutrition. It's always going to be your diet and nutrition. It's always going to be. It's not going to be your weight training. It's not even going to be your cardio. If you get everything else lined up, like with the nutrition, you do that. Cardio can kind of bump it along, all right? But it's always going to be your nutrition. And, people want to resist that. They learn more about training programs. They're willing to try different training programs. but they don't even scratch the nutrition. They kind of just instinctively went about it and they got to that 20, 22%. It's not going to get there. You got to know the right things, the right buttons to push. It's not rocket scientist, but if you're not putting any effort in it, you're never going to find the answer, right? And it's not going to be the training program. It's not even going to be cardio. Hello, 𝗕liche. What's your opinion on intermittent fasting? Whatever the diet is, they all work when you know the organizing principles. What makes a difference is they'll throw a little science that makes their diet, whether it's keto or intermittent fasting, they'll throw some science. Again, I already told you my opinion of science, but let's just say it doesn't tip the scale as much as you think. So there's a little bit of science element, but then it's what fits your personality. What do you like best? What are the features of the diet that makes it sustainable for you? That's what makes the difference. All right. Nutrition is key. You know, Laron, nutrition is key, but everybody has a different concept of what that actually means. Well, he says, I'm 60 years old and I lost a lot of stuff inside. Will I be able to get that back? What'd you lose? You lose a lot of stuff inside. What is that? What'd you lose, Willie? You lost a lot of stuff inside. Is that inside your heart? Desire to be in shape? You lost that? You lost the quality of life? I don't know. What do you want back that you don't have? Logan, hey Skip, late novice, early intermittent lifter here. That sounds complicated, right? Currently on month 3 of my first bulk and looking for a solid training split. I've run PPL, upper lower, and normal split. Never tried a bro split. Well, did those work for you? And what are your goals, right? Got some hardcore guys on YouTube, right? Oh, you had a stroke. Yeah, well, you know, I'm not sure. You want to be healthy. You definitely, you know, listen to your doctor, exercise. I don't know. So you lost all your muscle. Is that it? All right, guys. All right. Hey, great conversation. If there's anything you can take away from this is that, you know, a lot of the information out there, it's interesting, it may be science-based, it may not be sustainable for you. The good news is those details may not matter as much as you want. So if you've been trying all these things, you don't think you can get back to, it's not sustainable for you, and you're 40 pounds overweight because you can't do it, quote unquote, right with all those details. You don't have to. It's just finding which buttons to push to be effective and efficient with your willpower, focus, energy, time. And so I talk about the 80-20 rule, the 20 things that make 80% or more of the impact on the way you look and feel, building muscle, losing body fat. The 100 things, which 20 make the difference? That's going to be the key. And it's always different for everybody. All right. So join me in the morning. Let's wake up together. All right. So that's going to do it for this workouts for Older Men Live. Let's have a great week this upcoming week. All right. Let's live with a sense of urgency on the job. All right. With connecting with the people we care about most. Certainly with our workouts and eating habits. Eating habits so important. That's one thing we talked about tonight. Again, if you want some one-on-one attention, take a look at all the different one-on-one coaching packages that I have to offer. I am sure I have one for you. We could talk about it. You can text me, get a hold of me, set up some time to talk. All right. So let's take on the day with a sense of urgency. We have to when we're a little bit older. We've got more time behind us than we do in front of us. Have a great day.